The Dow Jones has been looking pretty good for a few weeks. I'm thinking that it could be about to slide. Stick around and I'll show you what I mean. Hi, this is Tim from TradingStrategyGuides.com. Today's trade pick is a bear flag on the E-mini Dow Jones futures market. We'll get to that in just a few minutes, but first I'll update you on the active trades, and then later on we'll look at a brand new trading maxim for today. Friday is here, gang. Remember to click the subscribe button and hit that bell so you won't miss any of these great trade setups. Let's take a look at the active trades. Here's McDonald's Corp. And bada bing, our stop loss was hit on Tuesday, and unfortunately we had a situation that happens sometimes. We had our stop loss at break even on the second half right here, but the market gapped up on Tuesday's open to 185.59, so the stop loss was triggered at that price instead of being triggered down here where I had hoped. So that handed us a small loss on the second half. You know, stuff happens sometimes. This is the US dollar Mexican peso, and it is just dropping like a rock, and that's nice. It's making a little bit of a triangle here, and that I would construe to be a continuation triangle, and hopefully it will drop out of that some more. We're still waiting for the parabolic SAR to get down to here so we can start trailing the stops on this one. Royal Caribbean Cruises. This is the setup I showed you earlier this month, and it finally triggered a buy right up here. I bought this just ahead of Wednesday's close at 54.29. My stop is 47.26. and my first target is 58.98. If I get a candle close back in the triangle, I'll close the trade. Otherwise, I'll take half off for profit at the first target and move the stop to break even on the remainder. This is the new US dollar Swiss franc setup I showed you a week ago Monday. We got a nice sell trigger yesterday right here. I sold this just ahead of the close at 96.41, 96.42-ish. My stop loss is 97.41 and my first target 95.76. Same rules as with the Royal Caribbean Cruises. We'll close it if it goes back into the triangle and closes. Otherwise, half off at first target and move the stop to break even on the remainder. And lastly, we got a buy trigger on the trading range on the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen that I showed you on Monday. I bought this half size right here on Tuesday's close. It was half size because it was an 83% average volume. So my entry is about 78.08-ish. Stop loss is 76.86. First target 78.88. And that's it for the active trades. Let's take a look at our pick for the day. Here's a daily chart of the E-mini Dow Jones Futures, or YM1, and it's showing a nice looking bear flag. A bear flag consists of an incoming downtrend like this one here, and then an ascending parallel price channel like this. A bear flag is a bearish consolidation, so I will only take a sell trigger on this. And the pattern is confirmed by a decline in volume and volatility down here. I measure the volatility using the average true range, or ATR, which shows the average length of the last 14 candles. And here's the trade plan. We're going to sell a daily candle close below the bear flag. On the breaking candle, to enter a full-size position, we want to see the volume bar reach up to the volume average right here. If it doesn't quite reach the average, but does at least reach 75% of the average, I'll open a half-size position to reduce risk. You can calculate the percentage by dividing the volume over here by the volume average here, and you should get 0.75. If you don't get at least 0.75, don't enter the trade. The stop loss is 1.5 times the ATR, and the first target is 1 times the ATR. So let's say that this breaks down to right here, and just ahead of the close, you sell right at this point. On that day, take a look at the ATR right here. Multiply it by 1.5 and measure that distance above the entry for your stop loss. Measure 1 ATR below the entry for your first target. If after entering the trade we get a candle that closes back inside the bear flag, we'll take the loss right then and not wait for it to hit the stop loss. Our intention is that a breakout below the bear flag should be explosive and hit our target fairly quickly. If the momentum goes away, we want to shut the trade down without taking a full stop if possible. When the price hits our first target, we will close half the position for profit and set the stop loss to break even on the remainder. We will then follow stops as price moves in our direction until the market takes us out. These two rules are the very definition of cutting your losses and letting your winners run. Typically, I do this using two positions. The first position has a stop loss and a take profit. That position will close automatically when the first target is hit. The second position will only have a stop loss, and that's the position that will be allowed to run. When the first target is hit, we'll have to manually move our stop loss up to break even on the second position. I will only risk about 2% of my account on each trade. That's today's setup on the Dow. Remember, my intent here is to tell you how I manage these trades. If you've already got a good trade management plan, use it. Things that work for me may not work for you. You have to understand your own mind to find the best strategies for your trading. And speaking of understanding your own mind, that's my intent for the trading maxims. The maxims help me control my emotional impulses and keep me on the straight and narrow path. A maxim is a general truth, a fundamental principle, rule of conduct, or a proverbial saying. The purpose of my maxims is to motivate me to discipline in trading as well as other areas of my life. I suggest you start your own list of maxims, things that you can say to yourself while you're trading or doing life to make sure you always do the right thing. Feel free to borrow from my list. And today, a brand new maxim for you. Tim's Trading Maxim number 77. Do one thing every day that scares you. And this is a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. Eleanor Roosevelt was a pretty wise lady. I've been known to memorize several of her quotes. For those of you who don't know, she was a United Nations diplomat, humanitarian, and as the wife of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the First Lady of the United States from 1933 to 1945, which, of course, included the time of the Second World War. I think this quote applies well in trading and in life. What scares you? What's holding you back from doing the things that you know you should do? What's holding you back from doing the things you know you can do? Why not cut it down into bite-sized pieces? You don't have to do it all at once. Just do one small part of it every day. But be sure you do at least one thing every day. Pretty soon you'll be through that scary stuff and on to bigger and better things. Remember our E-mini Dow Jones Futures trade plan here. We're going to sell a daily candle close below the bear flag. If the volume is not quite average, go half size as long as it's at least 75% of the average. Your stop loss is 1.5 times the daily ATR, and your first target is 1 times the daily ATR. And remember to click the link below to the trade management video for more details. Also remember to sign up for my free Trading Picks email list so you don't miss any of these great picks. I send out about 2 or 3 trading picks a week from all different markets, and you'll get to see them first. And the best thing is it's free. I'll put the link below this video. Be sure to come back to Trading Strategy Guide's YouTube channel every week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time for my new videos. Don't hesitate to ask any questions you may have. I'll either answer your question right in the comments or in a training video or both. And remember, the only stupid question is the unasked one. I want you guys to give me a little feedback. Are you taking these trade setups? Are you making some money on them? Do you like having them in all markets, or do you have a preference for Forex or stocks or something else? Let me know in the comments below. And don't miss the next installment of the Trading Education series next Wednesday when I'll discuss what is a pip. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up below. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you Monday.